Orania Valaziotis.
I believe she's a medical loan, Your Honor.
Okay. Dominique Jackson.
Ms. Jackson, come on up, please.
All right, Ms. Jackson is before the court for count 1 is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and count 2 is burglary, occupied conveyance. The court does find probable cause. That's the bond.
Commissioner, in this case, the state would be asking for a $50,000 bond based on the facts of the case that she had blocked the victim in his vehicle. He was unable to leave, reaching in the car, going for what she knew where the gun was and reaching for it and threatening him with it.
Okay.
Judge, there's more to this story, but I told Ms. Jackson that's for a later date. One thing I believe is the alleged victim, which is her ex-boyfriend, does not want to go for it. But having said that, Judge, $50,000 is something that Ms. Jackson cannot possibly afford. Judge, my understanding, this is her first contact with the criminal justice system. She's a registered voter here in our community. She was born here, been here her whole entire life. She's 23 years old. She's working. She works at a company called Intel in customer service, where she's been employed there for about 7 months, making $10.25 an hour. She lives separate and apart from the alleged victim. She lives in Miami Gardens, where basically she rents a room with her roommates, and she's been living at the same premises for 1 year. I believe her share is about $550. Judge, she does have family that live in our community that she's going to be reaching out to help post her monetary bond. I'm going to be requesting a phone order so she can contact her family. I'm going to be requesting a $2,500 bond on each count. That would be a total of $5,000 that the defense is requesting, considering she has a clean record, Judge.
And I would just add, Judge, that the victim in the case denied that Ms. Jackson threatened him with the handgun.
And state, does Ms. Jackson have any priors?
No, Your Honor, it appears she does not.
All right.
We would like to ask for no victim contact then, at least.
I'm sorry?
We would like to also ask for no victim contact then.
Okay. All right. The court then will impose $2,500 on each count and no victim contact until further order of the court. Jill Donovan.
North Broward, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Donovan is before the court for touch or strike battery, and the court does find probable cause.
Judge, I'm going to be asking the court to consider releasing Ms. Donovan on her own recognizance. She has been a resident of Florida all of her life. She's been living in the same location for the last year and a half. She does have some prior contact with the criminal justice system. From what she tells me, it's misdemeanors and nonviolent prior offenses. And in this case, it appears Ms. Donovan may have had too much to drink and spit in the employee's face.
Okay, state.
Your Honor, based on the nature of the crime and the fact that she spit in an employee, the state would be asking for a $1,500 bond with no alcohol, no intoxicants on pretrial release.
And Ms. Donovan's not going to be able to make that kind of bond, Judge.
All right, I'm going to release Ms. Donovan to pretrial supervision, no victim contact.
We appreciate that, Judge. Ms. Donovan indicated to me that rather than be placed on pretrial, she would just ask the court to leave the standard bond.
I'm sorry, what was that, Mr. Reedy?
We appreciate the court's offer. Ms. Donovan had asked me not to plead placed on pretrial release and to leave the bond in place.
Okay, then I'll leave the bond in place, no victim contact.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Catherine Fraser Cadavid. Catherine Fraser Cadavid.
Ms. Frazier, come on up, please. She's approaching, Judge.
All right, ma'am, you are before the court for one count of DUI, and the court does find probable cause. Does anyone wish to be heard as to bond?
Judge, I'm going to be asking the court to consider releasing Ms. Frazier ROR. She's been here in South Florida for 9 years. She's 41 years old. My understanding, she has a clean record. She's a registered voter. She's basically a stay-at-home wife, taking care of her 2-year-old child. Her and her husband have been renting a house where they are, them and I believe another couple rent, and their share of the rent is approximately $800 per month. Judge, from what she's advised me, since she doesn't work, she really has no financial resource post her bond. So if the state can verify that she has a clean record and this is her first time being arrested, that's why I believe she would be an excellent candidate for a straight ROR. She will be coming back to court, Judge.
Does the state wish to be heard?
Your Honor, I will confirm that I didn't find any priors on that. I just feel that $500 is an appropriate bond amount for this crime.
All right, the court does find probable cause. I am going to leave the $500 bond in place.
Judge, I understand that the court's not allowing a straight ROR. And in the alternative, would the court consider releasing her then on pretrial release, considering this is the first time she's ever been arrested and there's a presumption to be released on non-monetary conditions?
Right, there's always that presumption, and there's also that the court does have discretion based on what I've heard, and you're telling me that, Ms. Fraser, is arrested for DUI, she's got minor children, she has nothing else to do during the daytime. I believe that a $500 bond is, reasonable conditions at this time. Jennifer Parker.
North Broward, Your Honor.
Ms. Parker, you are before the court for DUI, and the court does find probable cause.
Judge, I'm going to ask the court to release Ms. Parker on her own recognizance. She has no prior contact with the criminal justice system. She's a lifelong resident of South Florida. She's been living in the same location for the last year in her own condominium. Unfortunately, she has a disability that has made it impossible for her to work, so she has not been able to save up any money to enable her to post a monetary bond.
All right, you've had an opportunity to speak to Ms. Parker, Mr. Reedy.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there any indication of there's any mental health issues?
I did not get that impression, Judge.
Okay. All right, state.
Your Honor, I'll state the same, that, I feel a $500 bond is appropriate for this type of charge.
Does she have any priors?
Don't see any priors, Your Honor, no.
Well, this probable cause affidavit does give the court pause for concern. I am going to leave the bond in place, $500, and if there are any other issues that need to be addressed,
Hold on.
they can be addressed at a later time.
Oh, you're gonna look.
Renee Corriview.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
She's in North Broward, Judge.
Yeah. Ms. Carview, you're before the court. Count one is possession of cocaine. Count two is possession of drug paraphernalia, and the court finds probable cause.
Your Honor, Ms. Caravu asked me to request that the court leave the bond in place.
Okay. All right, so your bond is $1,000, ma'am. Good luck. Nella Estep.
That's North Broward, Your Honor. She's gonna be a medical reset.
All right, thank you. And then Yolanda Whitehead.
Bonded.
Bonded, thank you. Dominic Hill.
He's approaching, Judge. You can find the service public defender.
All right, Mr. Hill, you are before the court for possession of cannabis 20 grams or less. Counts two and three are felony violation of probation. Those are no bond holds, and you'll be before your division judge tomorrow at 8:30. And the bond on count one is $100. Good luck, sir. Dan Smith.
Call me?
Dan Smith.
He's approaching, Judge.
Okay. All right, Mr. Smith, you have a misdemeanor KPS on a trespassing charge.
Yes.
What does Mr. Smith wish to do?
Judge and speak, Mr. Smith, he wishes to resolve this case today.
All right, State, do you have an offer for Mr. Smith?
Yes, Your Honor, the offer is a withhold court cost with no return to Proverlo Live Wellness Center. If you need the address, I can give it to you.
If you can just put it on the record, please.
Sure, it's 2200 Northeast 12th Avenue, Wilton Manors, Florida.
Thank you.
Judge, my understanding is, he wishes to accept the state's offer. However, I was telling him and explaining it to him the special condition as far as no return to that location. What he was advising me, I believe in this plaza area, there's something called the Wellness Center, and he actually goes there for treatment.
For rehab, yeah.
So,
Well,
I understand as far as not returning for the purposes of loitering, but if he has legitimate reasons, he actually has an appointment, Judge, I'm gonna ask the court not to consider imposing, that requirement.
Thank you.
well, how about, well, I'm not going to, I won't resolve the case today because one, I don't know if the trespassing order is from a specific location or from that entire plaza. So maybe someone needs to find that out and then he'll be able to resolve the case at another time. Because I'm not gonna impose an order that tells him he can go somewhere if I don't know that there's an order for him not to be there. Okay, so I'll leave the bond in place and he can go to his division and resolve that. Lorenzo Lovely,
And he's, Judge,
I'm sorry?
he's asking, there's a $500 bond, he cannot post it. He's asking if the court would consider releasing him pre-trial release on this case then.
I'm sorry?
Judge, my understanding in speaking, Mr. Smith, he was right now explaining to me why he missed court. He was hospitalized, and he was giving me dates. He was hospitalized at which
On the
hospital?
8th, Imperial Point,
And when did you get out?
on the 8th.
On the 8th.
And that was the court date.
This case is from January 15th. I will release Mr. Smith on pretrial supervision and,
Thank you, ma'am.
okay?
Sir, here's the location pre-trial.
Thank you,
Do
ma'am.
not
Alright.
show up. They're closed today. By the time you get out tomorrow morning, there's gonna be a warrant issued for your arrest.
So
Here's
where
the
is
main
this?
jail. You follow the
Alright.
map. It's right there.
And what's pre-trial, I mean?
You're gonna be supervised.
It's probation.
Yes, it was.
Kinda, okay, now I understand.
Good luck, sir. Good luck.
I will bring down this. Thank you, sir, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome, sir. Lorenzo Lovely,
Bonded, Judge.
Mark Hines,
Mr. Hines, come on up, please.
All right, Mr. Hines is before the court for petty theft and possession of fentanyl, and the court does find probable cause.
Judge, nothing to add at this time. Mr. Hines will be posting his bond.
Okay, yes.
Mr. Hines is currently on pretrial supervision for two cases. Case number 1801363 CF10A, burglary of a conveyance unoccupied. And case number 12001881 CF10A, sell, manufacture, possession with intent heroin. At this time, we're requesting revocation of his supervision.
Did you say 2012
A
case?
2012 case, that's correct, Your Honor.
And he's on pretrial on a 2012 case? What, do you know when he was placed on pretrial?
He was placed on pretrial May 18th, 2018.
It just seems like such a long time, 2012.
It's a Judge Porter case.
Do we know when he goes back to Judge Porth?
On the 9th, on the 2012 case.
May 9th?
That's in front of Judge Ari Porth.
To know on the 18 case, he has a court date of May 9th.
That case is in front of which judge?
Judge Porth.
Judge Porth? All right, I won't take any action on the pretrial. He goes to Judge Porth. I'll leave the bond of $1,000 in place.
Thank you.
All right? Doris Gutierrez,
Mr. Gutierrez is approaching, Judge. Come on up, sir.
all right, Mr. Gutierrez is before the court on a grand theft auto. Count 2 is possession of cocaine. Count 3 is resisting without violence. The court does find probable cause.
Judge, nothing to add from the defense at this time.
Okay. All right, the standard bonds are in place. Ryan Foley,
I'll call your brother afterwards. Mr. Foley, I've been advised bonded, Judge.
okay. Garrick Boyd,
Mr. Boyd, come on up, please.
Mr. Boyd, you are before the court for disorderly conduct, and you also have an out-of-county felony hold, which is a no-bond hold, and not for magistrate. The hold is for Dade County. So the court does find probable cause.
Judge, I'm gonna be asking the court to consider an RO on count one, the misdemeanor offense, so that Dade County can pick him up on his felony offense.
All right, I'll grant the ROR on count one. Timothy Riva de Nera.
Come on up, sir.
Mr. Riva de Nera, you are before the court. Count one is carrying a concealed firearm. Count two, possession of cocaine. Count three, possession of MDMA. Count four, possession of cannabis 20 grams or less. Count five, possession of controlled substance without prescription. Count six, possession of anabolic steroids. Count seven, possession of drug paraphernalia. The court does find probable cause.
Judge, nothing to add by the defense.
Does the state wish to be heard?
Your Honor, the state would like to have the bond increased on the carrying concealed firearm. It's concerning that it was found loaded in the vehicle along with the amount of drugs that were in the vehicle at the time.
One other thing, and Mr. Rivera Dinner just advised me of this. His bond, I believe he already spoke to his family member or something like that. May have already been posted. Can we check with confinement status to see if his bond's been posted?
Okay. All right, it's not showing as posted. The court does find probable cause. The standard bonds will remain in place. Elton Perry,
Bonded, Judge.
okay. Will we bring back Terrence Kennedy this afternoon? He was at Paul Ryan. Where was
County, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Kennedy, you are before the court for some add charges. 7, burglary, occupied dwelling unarmed. 8, burglary, unoccupied conveyance unarmed. 9, petty theft. 10 and 11 are felony violation of probation. Those are no bond holds. 12 is burglary, unoccupied conveyance unarmed. 13 and 14 are felony violation of probations. Those are no bond holds. The court does find probable cause. Leave the standard bonds in place. You do have court tomorrow in Division FW. All right?
Ma'am.
Okay. Yes. Aren't those 7 and 8? Oh. Can we bring Mr. Kennedy back? I'm sorry. At Conti.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I'm sorry, you just need to address your bond, sir, on 7 and 8. I was moving a little bit too fast. So 7, 8, and 12 need a bond. Does anyone wish to be heard?
I'd ask for the standard bonds, Judge, in light of all the no bond holds Mr. Kennedy has.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would ask, I'm not sure what the standards are on this one, but I would ask for 1,500 on each of those counts, please.
Okay. All right. I'll impose $1,000 on each of them, 7, 8, and 12. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Kennedy. Okay. We'll go to the hearing docket. We'll start with the misdemeanor, because that's right in front of me. And we'll, Ricardo Gonzalez on the misdemeanor hearing docket. I'm getting looks.
Gonzalez?
Ricardo Gonzalez is on page 2 of the hearing docket.
He's not on my paperwork. Is he in a different facility?
Does anybody have Ricardo Gonzalez?
He's not on North Broward's paperwork.
So, no, you don't have it either, confinement? Well,
He's not on Paul
He's
Ryan's
bonded.
paperwork.
okay,
He bonded.
all right. How about LaShanta Pritchard?
Paul Ryan, Your Honor.
All
Okay,
right.
There we go.
okay, so Ms. Pritchard is, before the court for a second look. How much bond does Ms. Pritchard have at this time? She has a Palm Beach hold, that's on a misdemeanor. The Palm Beach, no, well, I'm looking at this thing that says, oh, okay.
Would the court consider releasing Ms. Pritchard ROR so the out-of-county hold can be served on her? Palm Beach County can come get her?
Please, please.
I thought you said she had a bond plus pretrial? Okay. All right, do I have the orders? I'll RR her on the, Broward count.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, sorry. Okay. All right. You'll have to put that delete Elmo. Dean Seeley,
He's here at main judge approaching.
Mr. Seeley is, back for a second look on his bond status. How much, Mr. Seeley has $500 in bond.
That is correct, Judge. Unfortunately, Mr. Seeley, as you can see, cannot afford that. Basically, I understand, he wants to accept responsibility and resolve this case, but I do understand there's restitution, so I know there's not gonna be any plea offer, but eventually when he goes in front of his diligent judge to resolve it, there's gonna be outstanding restitution. What we wanna ask the court is to consider releasing him pretrial so that, he knows of this program called incentives that will help him get a job, so then he can start working to have like basically funds so that he can pay off the restitution. So we're asking for Mr. Seeley to be released on pretrial release.
If I remember correctly, Mr. Seeley either has 2 or 3 other similar cases.
April 20th was arrested for the same charge, was released. The next day, he did the same thing, first was arrested, and now
Gonna deny the pretrial release. The bond is $500. Keyshawn Whitehead,
Mr. Whitehead, come on up, please.
all right. What is the status on Mr. Whitehead?
He has a $100 bond on a criminal mischief, but I know he has juvenile holds, Judge.
Okay. On the juvenile matters?
Judge, Mr. Whitehead just advised me, he went to juvenile court this morning, And my understanding from what he's telling me, and I don't know if they can verify, the no bond holds were lifted, but I don't know.
They just said that.
Oh, if they don't speak in the microphone, I can't hear anything.
Okay. All right, I'll, release Mr. Whitehead to standard pretrial supervision.
Go there tomorrow morning or report. Here, hold on to this. Look at this. Walk the clerk and report there tomorrow morning, okay?
Okay, thank you. Jose Mendoza?
Mr. Mendoza Conti.
He's coming up.
All right. What's the status with Mr. Mendoza?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. So on a DUI charge,
Well, can I explain what's going on in my words, Josh? Oh, I need a public defender.
does Mr. Mendoza have any priors?
Oh, no, madam. This is a first time
No,
because...
no, Mr.
Hold
Mendoza,
on,
I'm
Mr.
not
Mendoza,
asking
don't
you,
say
I'm
anything.
asking the state, okay?
Okay.
No, Your Honor, we don't see any priors.
All right. All right, Mr. Mendoza, I'll release you to pretrial supervision. Okay? The deputy's gonna give you the information, no alcohol or intoxicants,
No, madam.
okay? You need to report to the pretrial supervision, that's on that sheet of paper that the deputy just handed you.
Yes, madam.
Once they release you, you need to go straight to the pretrial office. If they're closed, then you have to go first thing in the morning. And if you don't go, a warrant will be issued for your arrest. Do you understand that?
Yes, understand, madam.
All right, good luck, sir.
Eh,
All right, David Bozeman? No, oh yeah, David Bozeman, North Broward? That's on the,
North Broward. Yes,
Felon-
it's North Broward,
on
Your
the
Honor.
felony hearing docket. I just got stuck.
Come on, Mr. Bozeman, stand on the X right here.
All right, Mr. Bozeman was arrested on March 26th. Has the state filed the charges? When was it filed? All right, Mr. Bozeman, you were brought before the court for a 30-day motion for release. The state has formally filed the charges, so should be going to your division shortly, okay?
Can we ask what charges were filed?
Okay.
Because it's not in Odyssey yet.
Yeah, and they've sent it,
He's asking what charges were filed.
Your Honor, it appears it's just burglary, unoccupied dwelling.
Okay. Marguerite Fazio,
North Broward.
North Broward again, Your Honor.
all right.
Your Honor, I also have, you did the misdemeanor second looks. I also had a Gardner Vaughn. I don't know if you skipped over him or they deleted him from the docket, but I had him down here.
Oh, that's right. I spoke with Mr. Vaughn earlier, Mr. Gardner earlier. I didn't see him anywhere on the docket. I looked in Odyssey. He has 2 open misdemeanors, and neither one of them appear to be set for court today.
Yeah, and I didn't have it on my docket.
So you didn't have him, so you don't need him?
No.
Okay.
Yes? Well, I didn't get it, so. case was transferred to Judge Lerner Wren. When was it transferred to Lerner Wren? From magistrate court? Okay, so is there a reason why it's not yet? Okay. Well, all right, so then I think what needs to be done as far as Mr. Gardner is concerned is that the information needs to be updated in honesty so that he can get to Judge Lerner Wren, okay?
Okay, I'll let him know that he's gonna be going to Judge Loren.
Yes, thank you.
And I also
Deputy.
had a Dorfman Jacqueline, but she was reset. She would have been a misdemeanor, but she's reset. She couldn't come down.
Okay, all right. Is that everybody on your misdemeanor list? I didn't get,
They were the last two that you didn't call that you did from the misdemeanor list. They happen to be mine, yes.
okay, all right, thank you, Deputy.
You're welcome.
All right, so who do we have before us now? Marguerite Fazio?
Yes.
All right, has the information been filed on Ms. Fazio? All right, Ms. Fazio, the state has not formally filed the charges, so you are entitled to an ROR.
Okay.
I'll sign the order granting that. You also, though, need to know that this does not mean that they cannot file the charges. So you need to, check, and check your mail to see if they do, and if you have to come back
Okay.
to court, okay?
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah,
ma'am.
Don't miss court, okay?
No, I won't.
All right, Eddie Rancher, has the information been
North Broward
filed?
again, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Rancher, the state has not formally filed the charges, and so, you are entitled to be released on your own recognizance.
Thank you.
I will sign that order, sir. It does not mean that they cannot file the charges. Just means that they can't hold you any longer until that's pending, so you need to make sure that if the charges are filed, that you take note and come back to court when you have to, okay?
Thank you.
All right, sir.
North Broward's completed, Your Honor. I'll see you next Wednesday. Yes,
All
you
right,
said
thank you. You see me next Wednesday, not tomorrow?
I'm only in here one day a week.
Okay, good to see you, deputy.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right,
Take care, deputy.
See you next week.
all right. Mario Nieto?
All right, Your Honor.
All right. What's the status on Mario Nieto? When was it filed? And do we know what the charge, was it filed as charged? All right, Mr. Nieto, while they're looking, you're brought before the court for a 30-day motion for release on your own recognizance. The state has indicated that they have filed the charges, and so I'll deny the ROR today. And you should be before a division judge shortly, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Sarah Pio?
All right, Your Honor.
How you doing, ma'am?
Hello, Ms. Pio. Ms. Pio was arrested on April 6th. I guess it's not quite the 30 days, so it's a second look. And Ms. Pio had several out-of-county felony holds, so what's the issue here?
Well,
She has 7 out-of-county felony holds.
yeah, I see that. The only thing I could ask, Judge, is if you consider RORing her on count 1 so that Palm Beach County can come and get her.
You know, this is a second-degree felony that she's before the court on, and it's all similar types of charges out of Palm Beach. Do we know the status of the Palm Beach cases? Are they new, or are they filed, or does anyone know? It's not, she's not on probation, those cases, do we know?
Ma'am, I can tell you myself.
Okay,
I did miss my last court date, unfortunately, due to me getting arrested the same day that I did have court. In West Palm, I was resolving my case and, charges were being dropped down. The charges from 2016. I've been fighting the case because it is from an ex-girlfriend. And, the charges are being dropped and I'm gonna be put, with restitution to the courts and to, one charge, but they are being dropped down to, one is gonna be dropped down to a misdemeanor.
well, it would seem that, you know, well, I'm not gonna make any comment on that. I'm leaving the bond in place.
You have an arraignment on the 6th, Ms. Pio.
Okay,
All right.
all right. Charles Vanderhall.
He's approaching, Judge, you see our man?
All right, Mr. Vanderhall is in for a second look. How much bond is he on, and what's going on with him?
One case with 3 counts.
Thanks, Deputy.
And does Mr. Vanderhall have priors? He has 5 what? 5 pending cases?
And his first go back and do it all, and they're pretty much all similar and related incidences.
Judge, I can't hear what people are saying.
All right, I was asking about his priors. I'm told, I'm being advised that he has 5 pending cases, and that they're all similar theft types of charges. On this one, the allegations are that he went into someone's unlocked vehicle, took $405 worth of items plus credit cards, and then used the credit cards for total amount of $324.61. And that everything was captured on surveillance, is what this affidavit said. And then on this occurred January 8th, and then on January 11th, he was arrested in Lighthouse Point for similar crimes. So he's got a total bond, he's got a bond, and I'm gonna leave the bonds in place at this time. All right. Regine,
Judge, just-
yes,
Judge, right now, from my understanding, he has, what you ordered when he appeared before you a couple of days ago, I think you ordered a $7,000 bond, on his behalf, but with no other, restrictions. That's what I think I remember, is that correct?
I don't know. Are
Well,
there, Is it showing restrictions? Is it showing pre-trial? Is it showing? Right. That's it. This is a straight bond.
That's, okay, this is what's adding to our confusion, Mr. Vanderhall. And I don't have my paperwork, but I'm pretty sure that's what you ordered. And I made a whole argument because.
That I
on the
ordered
fa-
what? That
On
I
the
ordered
face of it.
pre-trial?
No, I don't think you did. I
Oh.
think that's what you did, just ordered the 5,000, 1,000, 1,000, because that was your concern, that he had a whole bunch of burglaries, and at first glance, that's my argument, these were ad charges, it happened from the same time period, I don't think Your Honor agreed with my argument, that's why you raised it to 5,000, but you never imposed pre-trial, and, you didn't, order any other restrictions. When he tried to post bond, someone mistakenly wrote cash bond. So, from what his bondsman said, he has to come up with the whole $1,000. And my understanding, Judge, is that he was in front of his division judge yesterday, and some paperwork, there was some sort of confusion where I believe Judge Garcia Wood thought that the court may have ordered Elmo. And I didn't hear that, and from what he has advised me, the judge tried to contact magistrate court to get clarification. They didn't receive clarification, so she went ahead and basically thought, well, magistrate court did this, so I'm imposing Elmo. And that's not, I'm being, I guess, corroborated by the court, that never happened. So he was never ordered on a monitor, he was given a $7,000 bond, no sort of cash bond restriction or anything like that.
My judge.
Does anybody have the original, magistrate, document? Because if I were the judge, I usually try to write it, or somebody writes it on there.
I remember when we magistrated him 2 days ago.
Okay?
The burglary bond was set at 5,000 and then it was 1,000, 1,000, because the defendant was explaining.
Where is it showing it?
Just been updated today.
Yes.
Someone in our north wing, so let me call over there and see. Because we just went to court.
Okay, because,
So let me call over to our.
all right, all right.
I don't know either.
They are going to check with, who? Judge Garcia?
No.
Who? They're gonna check with confinement status in the North Wing. Because apparently that information was updated today and not it was not on.
It was in, they're saying that he went to court this morning and they lowered the bond and put him on pre-trial.
Right, so they must have changed it. Judge Garcia must have changed it. You said they lowered the bond and put him on pretrial.
Right, but my understanding is Judge Garcia Wood did that thinking magistrate court did that. That's, and I would just,
there's-
Judge,
yeah.
but if it's true that cash bond, then certainly there's a mistake that was made.
Well, here's the problem. I am not going to second guess until we can verify. I don't know. It could have possibly been that's what Judge Garcia Wood's intention was, and not because of anything that I said. So, I don't know. I'm not going to start changing things back and forth without having full knowledge of what transpired this morning. So if confinement status can verify that they were the ones who updated the thing this morning, I don't know why, if it was updated this morning, it wouldn't be an information that came from what was already in the system. So, do you see what I'm saying? So, if they're saying that they updated it to put that in this morning, it's not that it was there before and the judge was going by what was already there. So that's where there's like question in the air.
Can I speak?
And I'm not gonna.
Your Honor, can I speak, please?
All right, can we move on to the next person? If you want to sit in a room until confinement verifies what happened this morning, I'll be happy to entertain that, but I think we need to move on.
Okay, so is it updated though? Did my phone
Hold
go
on,
down?
they're gonna look.
Okay, yes. No, you can go ahead. If confinement is ready, I'll listen.
Okay.
Okay, come on back. And could Fireman speak in the microphone, Judge?
I just spoke with the president of my clinic. He did go through the division today. The bond was reduced on count two.
We can't hear anything.
But the
We can't hear you on it.
Okay, if you'll just hold on just a minute. If you can't hear, I'll repeat it. Just, if you talk, then I can't hear them. So just hold on. All right, start again, please.
Okay, so the bond was reduced
Okay?
in division, on count two to 2,000,
Okay, how much was it before?
about 5,000.
Okay, so the 5,000 bond on count two was reduced to 2,000, okay?
But pretrial with an Elmo
Okay?
added to that $2,000 bond.
You see, and the judge added pretrial with an Elmo. Okay, all right.
She called you, ma'am, to make sure
No,
first. That's all I'm saying.
nobody called me this morning. I have been on the bench. No, everybody was here, did not see me pick up a phone and answer any
My
phone
whole
calls.
family was there, ma'am.
No,
My whole family was there.
nobody called me this morning. I didn't speak to anyone this morning. And everybody who was in this courtroom was here this morning and would have seen me pick up the phone. All right, let's move on to the next one. So he already has a bond reduction and the judge changed whatever, so, okay. All right, Regine Dickens.
Hold on, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Dickens is here for a second look on a bond status. She has a total of, right? So what's the status on Ms. Dickens?
I asked you to consider.
Can I read?
Stay with kind of prizes Ms. Dickens have.
April 5th of this year, she had a DWLS. Earlier this year, she had battery on video and disorderly conduct. $1,500 bond on that.
So she's out on bond on something else? And how much, do we know how much bond she posted on, and that was on the April arrest or March arrest?
One from April 4th. One from the March 15th, that was $1,500.
Gonna deny the pretrial.
What?
Her bond will remain in place.
You have a court date on Friday, Ms. Dickens.
I know.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Thomas Gallagher,
I believe he bonded, Judge.
okay. And Samantha Fox,
The other call?
Hold on, Your Honor.
all right, Ms. Fox has bond and pretrial, $1,500 bond.
Javi,
Yes, Judge.
somebody was there for her. Somebody was there for her.
Ms. Fox, do you have a place to stay?
Sorry?
Do you have a place to stay?
Yes.
Does Ms. Fox have priors? All right, I will remove the monetary portion of the release, but she'll remain on level 2 pretrial supervision.
Make sure that you get a map from the deputy, Ms. Fox.
They'll come visit
Okay.
her.
Oh, you put her on a monitor?
Level 2.
Oh, okay.
That's what she had before.
Okay,
I'm
that's
just
fine.
removing the monetary portion of it.
Okay. All right, you'll be out as soon as they put that monitor on you, Ms. Fox.
Okay.
All right, good luck. Don't miss
you.
court.
Stephen Bronder.
Sarah May, approaching, Judge.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bronder.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm okay.
All right, did Mr. Bronder go to court? He was supposed to have court on April 30th.
How we do?
Judge, I believe he went to court yesterday on I believe where he received time served, so my understanding this possession of cocaine is what's holding him $1,000 bond. He is on disability. He lives in a Hollywood shelter where he's been residing there for the past 8 months. So Judge, we're gonna ask for the court to consider releasing him pre-trial release with random drug testing.
Could we verify he did resolve all the misdemeanor matters? All right, so Mr. Bronder, I'll release you to pretrial supervision, and there is going to be standard drug testing.
Thank you very much.
Random drug testing.
Thank you.
Follow the map. You gotta go there tomorrow morning, okay?
Is it any time tomorrow?
Be there in the morning.
Before noon?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. How about Temperance Watson?
Paul Ryan.
I know. All right, Miss Watson was arrested on April 29. She has $1,000 bond.
Yes.
All right, what's the issue now?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, my people's not answering the phone, and when they did get a chance to answer, my dad said he's not bonding me out.
You have a place to stay?
Yes,
Who would you be staying with?
my dad and my grandma.
How long have you lived there?
Since I was a newborn baby.
Judge, I'd ask the court to consider pretrial release if her prior record warrants it. I don't really see much of a prior record from Broward. I see a petty theft from last year.
August 31st, 2018, then a month later, September 28th, 2018.
Was she on a GPS on those, or was this standard? No. Oh, failures to appear. I thought it was, okay. All right, I'm gonna put Miss Temperance on level 2 GPS.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, ma'am, the confinement will fit you for an anchor monitor I'm sorry. I'm having all those words today. I'm saying standard instead of random, and, all right. So pre-trial, we'll fit you for an ankle monitor, and you'll be able to, you'll be released, okay? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
That's it for right now.
All right, and then we have Tendai Morape. Okay. So Mr. Morape's bond has been posted. All right, I believe that that's it. I was trying to keep track, but these two I missed. I don't know.
I'll check on